Welcome to yoga. I'm Christie. Let's take a nice full breath. Let your shoulders relax down. Take a moment to notice how you are. Feel what's going on in your body. Maybe a few deeper breaths are needed. Let your eyes soften a little bit. And observe if you have an intention for your practice today. How you want to take care of yourself in this moment. Think about something that you're grateful for. And then let's take another deep breath. Good. Let your chin drop gently down towards your chest. So this has been a week where I feel like I have way too much on my plate. You may feel like that pretty regularly, maybe every day, every week. Let your head come back up. Let your shoulders squeeze up towards your ears. And then let your shoulders pull back down. Big breath. So for me, yoga is just this little bit of sanctuary. It's just this quiet, sacred space of turning inward, letting everything else go outside for just a moment, just for a little while. Let your arms reach up overhead. Give that a nice stretch up. So try to just be here and move any way that your body is telling you it needs to. Let's hold on to the right wrist. We're going to tip a little bit to the left, stretching through the right side of the body. And then back to center. Hold on to your left wrist. And just tip a little bit to your right. Keep breathing. So when you notice those thoughts creeping in because you've got too much on your plate and you still have a lot to do today, try to let them go. Just focus on your breath. Focus on the sensations of the body. Let your arms come down. Bring your hands behind you. Interlace those fingers behind your back. Pull them down towards the floor. Lengthen the chest up towards the ceiling. Oh my God, everything just cracked in there. Oh, my shoulders cracked in a weird way that I don't think they ever have before. Big breath. Aging, all kinds of weird things start happening. Weird cracks and pops. All right, release your hands, bring them on up overhead. And then we're going to turn. So we got to laugh sometimes at the crazy things that are going on with us. Let's twist it to the right. There's only so much we can control. Only so much we can change. We want to just try to go with it so we're not stressing ourselves out so much. All right, come on back to center. Let's do arms up, nice and gently. Just give that nice lift up, feeling your spine stretch up, and then twist it to your left. Left hand behind you, right hand can rest on either leg. Lengthen up the spine. Feel that twist. Big breath. And then let's come on back to center. Bring arms back up overhead. Hands together. Bring them on down to the heart. Nice full breath. All right, we're going to do a butterfly pose. I'm going to pull out my cushion here. And butterfly. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And ooh, that is tight. Okay, if I can move forward at all, it's going to be very slowly. So, oh yeah, the back of that hip is tight. Okay, so we're just going to try to, and I'm going to have to laugh at myself here. We're just going to try to round, letting your head move towards your feet. So if you've got those tight spots like I do that are a little frightening, Let's try to move slowly. Breathing. Every day I'm never quite sure where I'm going to end up in a pose. And that's just how you want to move through your practice. Is not expecting anything in particular to happen. Feel what's going on. Let your body move slowly or quickly based on how you're feeling. Big breath. If the poses feel really good, you may decide to stay there for longer. If they're really, on that edge of being too much, then it may just be just a couple, like maybe just one breath. Okay, let's take the feet out wide. We're going to fold right down the center. So same thing. You're just going to move slowly. Notice how you are. My legs are tight today too. Ease your way forward. Take a couple of breaths. And then inhale back up. We're going to take it over to the right leg. So just come back up. Breath. Turn towards your right toes. We're going to fold over that right leg. Again, just allowing the body to go where it's telling you to stop, or maybe you went too far and you need to back up. Keep breathing. Try to let every part of the body relax and let go. And then we're going to slowly, sometimes you need to come up very slowly too, right? So all this process of transitioning from one point to the other, whether you're going into the pose or coming out of it, can be, right, that movement can be something that you need to be really cautious with. All right, turn towards your left toes, and we're just going to let the body move gently and slowly over that left leg. Breathe. And then slowly come back up. Good. Another breath. Circle your shoulders. Let your arms inhale up overhead. Exhale, arms back, down along your sides. Bring hands behind you. Once again, interlace those fingers. Pull hands down towards the floor. Try to bring those hands up towards the ceiling. So if you can fold forward here, you can let your body lean forward. But now we don't have the hands to rest on. So be mindful about how that is for you. And then we're going to let those hands drop back down. If you're folded in, bring your body back up. Take a breath. Okay, I think I want to do reclining pigeon. We're going to roll onto our backs. I just did like reclining pigeon and maybe a twist there. Ooh, maybe we'll do a little core. Okay, so here we go. We're going to roll it out onto our backs. We'll do some standing poses too. Just nice to move slowly in the beginning to get things to loosen up, especially if your body is really tight like mine is today. Big breath. Here we go. Right ankle rests on top of that left thigh. If it's tight, just keep your left foot on the floor. If you're bringing that left leg up, you can do it. If it's not too tight and the legs will move in, you can do it without your hands holding the leg. You can just work on using your leg and abdominal muscles to squeeze that left leg in towards you. If you want to hold the leg, then you can usually get a little deeper into that stretch and a little more control there. You can shift legs to one side or to the other and observe how that changes what you're feeling in the pose. Just looking for what's a good way to work with this pose today. And again, you might change and release your hands out. It feels good on my shoulders to have my arms stretched out past my head. Big breath. Let your left foot come back onto the floor. If it's up, bring your right foot up towards the ceiling. Try to squeeze that right leg in towards you. So again, you can keep your arms overhead here. By pulling my toes in, I can feel a deep stretch in my lower leg. If you want, again, a little more intensity, you can hold on to the leg, squeeze it in towards you. Gently. Soften your abdomen. So there may be these little spots where you kind of wiggle around, like you just feel like your head needs to turn. You can wiggle your shoulders a little bit. And then let's do a bridge pose between sides. We're going to let this right foot come on down onto the floor. Arms along your sides, feet near your hips. So get level on your feet, push your low back down into the floor, and then start to gently bring your hips up. So I can feel that little twinge as I bring in my low back, as I bring my hips up. Sometimes I just have to, again, take that really slowly and let the body adjust to working into the pose a little bit more. So being mindful of where there might be pain, let yourself back up if you need to. Try to pull your hips and your knees away from your shoulders. One more breath. Slowly lower on down. Let your low back come down into the floor. Then we're gonna just hug the knees in. Give a little squeeze in. If Happy Baby works well for you, try to reach for your feet. Either feet together, pulling in towards you. You can even hold your feet together and lift them up a little higher towards the ceiling. Or you can let those feet separate. Feel your breath. And then we're going to take it into reclining pigeon. Right foot you can either keep this right leg up and just pull your left ankle over there, or your right foot can come down onto the floor first. Left ankle on top of right thigh. We're going to hold the back of that right thigh, or you can do, again, arms up overhead. For me, this is the tighter hip, so it's a little harder for me to just squeeze it in and get that hip opening that I need. So hands are going to work a little bit better for me on this side to try to get that hip to let go of all the tension that is stored in that hip. Breathe. Soften your abdomen. Then you might turn your head a little bit. And then let your right foot come onto the mat or the floor, whatever's underneath you. We're going to bring the left foot up. You can hold the back of that left leg. Gentle squeeze in. Soften the abdomen. Then let that left leg come down. We're going to straighten both legs out along the floor and bring arms up past our heads. Try to get your legs pulling out from your hips. Arms reach up past your head. Big breath. And then soften down into the floor for a moment. And we're just going to roll over so we can do flying fish and open up our shoulders and backs a little bit more. You can bring your feet onto the floor. I'm just going to roll it onto the abdomen. And from the abdomen, I need to take my glasses off here. We're going to take the right arm out at shoulder height. So you're just extending that right arm straight out, so your hand is in line with your shoulder, moving straight out to the side, right side. Palm faces down, head turns to the left. You can use your left hand. So if your shoulder has, some pain, maybe just stay fairly flat here and try to get some release in the shoulder area there. If you're able to roll farther, you can bring that left foot onto the floor behind your right leg. Your left arm can just stay right in front of you with the hand on the floor, or you can reach that arm around in any direction. You can explore stretching that left shoulder. You can try to bring the hand to your hip or your drop behind your back, pulling that left shoulder blade backward behind you. Keep breathing. And then slowly come on back to center. And you can just stay right here on your abdomen if you like. If you would like to do child's pose, come on up. Bring your hips back towards your heels, head down. And then we'll do the left side. Back onto the belly. Head turns to the right. The left arm extends out, shoulder height. And then you're going to use that right hand to roll your body to the left. And then again, if you're going pretty far, your right foot can rest on the floor behind the left leg. So right arm can reach in any direction. Might be different than where you took the other arm. Just based on how this side is feeling and what needs to stretch out. Nice full breath. And then roll it on back onto your abdomen. If you want to try to get your feet, a lot of times I just like bringing my feet up in the air here and wiggling my toes and moving my ankles around. You want to try to get into that back bend. You can try to reach for one or both ankles. See how that is. That might be enough on your back and shoulders just to get one or both feet or ankles. If you're going to pull it back, I think I'm going to stay fairly low here today. So my tops of my thighs are still on the floor here. That's probably my best spot today. If you want to go farther, you can try to pull back a little bit and get those legs to come up off the floor. But if your back is tight, it's going to be a lot more work to get those legs to come up, and then you run the risk of having your back spasm. So just, let the legs come up when they're ready to. All right, take another breath. Come on down. We're going to slowly make our way back into child's pose. Come back onto the hands and knees. Push your hips back towards your heels. Let your head come down. Arms can either be alongside your legs or they can reach forward. Come up onto hands and knees. Round into a cat pose. Head and tailbone down, abdomen in, spine up. Inhale, drop spine down towards the floor. And bring head and chest up. We're going to bring it into thread the needle. Come back into that rounded cat pose. Bring your right arm underneath your left palm up. Bringing that right shoulder down onto the floor. If it's too much stress on your neck, really press your left hand or your left fingertips down into the floor. If you like to do that left leg extended out, you're just going to stretch it out to the side, either resting kind of on the sole of the foot or on the arch side of the foot. It'll shift a little bit. It does put more pressure on, because now you're just on one knee instead of on two. If you're on, I'm on pretty thick carpeting here, so that works okay. If you're on a hard floor, that may not be the best thing. All right, and then you're going to bring that leg back if it's extended out. Come on back to center. Round it into cat pose. Inhale into dog. Let spine drop down between your shoulder blades. Let your head and chest lift up. And then we're taking it to the other side. Come back into a cat. Bring your left arm underneath your right palm up. Bringing that shoulder down. Again, if you want to do leg out to the side, then right leg just extends out to the side. Breathe. And then come on back. You can either bring the hand back first or the leg can come back first if you have that leg out. And then curl your toes under. Come into a down dog. Let your heels drop down. Let your head drop down. Hips push back. And then walk your feet to your hands. Coming into a standing forward fold. We're going to try to bring the heels up. So knees can bend. We're going to bring the heels up, stretching the toes. Hips can start to drop down towards your heels as long as your knees are okay. Coming into a bit of a squat, but now we've got the heels up. We're stretching through. I'm not really sure where I feel that. Through the bottom of the foot. The toes are so intense in this stretch today that I'm not really sure what's going on in there. I think I'm feeling it through the whole top of my foot. All right, and then we're going to just tip it back into a forward fold. And we're going to take it into a little twist here. You're going to bend in your left knee. Your right leg stays straight. You can rest your left arm on your right thigh. We're going to turn it into a twist. Right arm comes up, right hip pulls back. So you're stretching the IT band, just like that reclining pigeon. We're getting into the outer right leg here. Take a breath, and then bring it on back to center. Rest your right arm on your right thigh. So right knee's bent, left hip pulls back. We're just twisting gently to the left. This left hip is pulling back, getting into this outer leg here. Another breath. Come on back to center. Fold in. Let your head drop down. Relax your neck. And then inhale all the way up to standing. And inhale pull on over. Inhale your arms back up overhead. Hands touch. We're going to bring them on down to the heart. Nice full breath. Let's do an extended side angle. Let's see, where are we time-wise? Okay. We're going to do an extended side angle, feet wide. And I think we'll do a humble warrior and then we'll do a sun salute. Something like that. All right, so feet are wide, about one leg's length apart. Right foot turns straight out to that short edge of the mat on your right side. Left foot angles in towards your right foot. Bring those arms up. Let the shoulder blades drop down. Look out over your right fingertips. So try to feel like you're almost like, not that you're pulling your arms out from your shoulders, but that you're trying to pull your shoulders away from each other a little bit. And then lean into extended side angle. Right hand or right lower arm rests on that right thigh. Left arm reaches up and maybe overhead. Try to take that left shoulder blade back behind you. You're going to stretch out from this left hip, from that top hip. And then come back to center. We're going to rotate the feet in the other direction. Right foot turns in, left foot turns out. Stand up nice and tall. Bend in that left knee. Arms come back up to shoulder height. Shoulder blades stay down. Again, you're trying to kind of separate those shoulders a little bit. Into extended side angle. Hand or lower arm rests on that left thigh. Turn the front of the body away from the floor. Feel what's happening in the body. Feel your breath. And then we're going to come back up. Both feet towards the long edge of the mat. Exhale, fold forward. Let your head drop down. Let your spine lengthen out. Turn your head a little bit from side to side carefully. Just kind of shake your head around. And then come back up. Feet might need to scooch together first. Make your way back up. Arms reach up overhead. Hands together. Bring them on down to the heart. Full breath. We're going to face the short edge of the mat. So either way you're facing, it's fine. We're just going to face one short edge. So we can do warrior one and humble warrior. Feet are lined up. Take your left foot and step it back. Right foot's forward. Bend in that right knee. Trying to let your hips sink down. Pushing that whole back foot into the floor. So notice if you're kind of collapsing on that arch side of the foot. Lift your spine up. Shoulder blades down. Arms reach up overhead. So now we're in warrior one. Keep breathing. Feel your fingertips reaching and your hips sinking down. Bring hands behind you. Interlace those fingers. Hands pull down towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen up the spine. Exhale, start to bring the body forward towards your right thigh. You can rest on the thigh if you get there. The body will go a little farther. You're going to drop past the inside of the thigh. Hands gently pull up away from the body. And then come back up into warrior one. Arms reach back up overhead. Hands together, bring them on down to the heart. So we're going to try to push forward. We're going to lift that back heel up and push off of the ball of your foot. Okay, that was not so graceful, but it worked without hurting my knee. Take a breath. I'm going to sip of water. And then we'll do the other side. Facing that short edge of the mat. The feet are lined up. We're going to step right foot back. Bend in your left knee. Again, press that whole back foot into the floor. Don't collapse onto that arch side. Face forward. Arms come on up. Shoulder blades down. Breathe. Warrior one. Fingertips are reaching. Then hands behind you. Interlace those fingers. Pull the hands down towards the floor. Lost my words there. Inhale, lengthen your spine up, and exhale, fold forward. Body comes towards the leg, onto the leg, or maybe past the leg. Breathe. Back up into warrior one. We're going to bring those arms back up overhead, shoulder blades down. Hands touch. Bring them on down to the heart. Maybe onto your hips. We're going to use again, we're going to try to bring that back heel up and push off of the ball of the foot there and bring that back foot forward. That works a little better this time. Big breath. Good. All right, feet are facing forward. Inhale, arms up overhead, shoulder blades down. Exhale, arms out to shoulder height, fold from your hips. Let your hands come down. They come all the way down as you're folding, as far as they'll reach. Inhale, lift the body up into half lift. So you're just lifting up, pulling your chest forward. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees, walk your feet back. Come on into a down dog. And then into plank if you're doing the vinyasa. So you want to make sure that you've got control. If you're not feeling super strong today, maybe just hold in plank. And then drop your knees, bring the tops of your feet onto the floor. Keep those arms tight to the rib cage. Bend your elbows lower down. Lengthen out the legs behind you. And then push into your back bend. Pull your chest forward and your shoulder blades back. If you're straightening your arms, then also bend your elbows. Pull your shoulder blades down. Push your chest forward. And then back to child's pose. Into a lunge. Back onto hands and knees, or if you can move into it from down dog, you can do it there. Bring your right foot forward. Shift your hips forward of that back knee. If your hips will allow, you can let this right knee drop out to the side a bit. If that's excruciating, maybe hug it in or stay up a little bit higher. If you're coming down into dragon pose, rest on your left lower arm or both lower arms. Feel your breath. And then push into your hands. Bring your hips back. Leave that right foot forward. Rest on the heel. Fold the body over the leg. If you can go into a split, you can try to gently let that heel slide forward. Ouch. Then you want to slide it back. Maybe walk hands to the left side, bring that right foot back. All right, just a breath. And then we'll do left foot forward. The left foot's going into the lunge. Hip shift forward. Where are you going to go here? How's this feeling? Are you going to come down onto lower arms? You can rest on right lower arm or both lower arms. And then again, if the hip will allow, you can let your knee drop out to the side. So that's like you're starting to get almost into a little bit of a pigeon shape there with that knee dropping out. Take a few more breaths. And then push into your hands. Bring the hips back. Keep your left foot forward. Again, maybe slide it a little bit farther forward. Fold the body over the leg, resting on the heel. You're going to try to split. I'm going to let that foot slide a little bit farther forward. And just see how that goes. And then you're going to slide it back. Hands can walk over to the right side. Swing that left leg back. Shake it out. Come back into child's pose. And we're going to take it into pigeon, or if you want to do reclining pigeon again, you're going to roll that onto your back, bring your right leg ankle on top of your left thigh, and then that left leg can pull in towards you. If you're going to do pigeon, you're going to bring your right knee forward and out to the side. So you want your knee to go to the right and your right foot to go towards the left. And then that left leg walks back. If you're doing a back bend today, hands walk backward, spine stretches back, and then fold forward. Find your spot. If this is not a great place to be today, try rolling out onto your back, do reclining pigeon. This is a place you want to be a little bit longer. We're not going to hold it super long, but if you want to hold it longer, you can pause the video and stay in it a little bit longer. Alright, we're going to take it to the other side. If you're on your back, you're going to release. Stretch your legs in any way that feels good. If you're in pigeon, maybe use your back toes and push that back leg forward so you have a little more room to slide the front leg up. Stretch that right leg out behind you. And then we'll change sides. Observing how you feel on this side. If you're in pigeon and you're going to back bend again, your hands walk back. Stretch the spine back. And then find where you want to position yourself. Breathe. release this side. So just like before. And then if you were in pigeon, we're going to shift onto our backs. Lower on down. Let yourself adjust to being on your back. And then a twist. Arms out at shoulder height, palms up. Knees drop over to the right side. Soften your abdomen. And then we'll change sides. Back through center. Hold your knees. Take a breath. Arms back out at shoulder height. Knees drop to the left side. Let the body sink down into the floor. And then come on back to center. And we're going to hold those knees again. And if you feel like happy baby, reach for your feet. See how that's going. And then Shavasana. Get yourself comfortable. You want to at least do a couple of minutes. I know it's really hard for people to be still and to relax, but try to find yourself a comfortable spot, however that is. Take a big breath. Let yourself sink down. Just keep feeling your breath. breath. Notice how you are. You can move your fingers on your wrists. You can move your toes. You can move your feet around a little bit. Arms can stretch overhead. And just roll to one side. And then you want to try to bring both hands onto the floor. Turn your chest down towards the floor. Bring both hands onto the floor and gently make your way back up to seated. And then notice how you're sitting. If you're sitting with crossed legs, it's one leg on bottom. Can you bring it up on top? Even if you're just, again, keeping in this kind of easy pose where your feet are pretty close together, or you can try to bring it into a half lotus, bringing that was the bottom foot on top of the other thigh. Sit up nice and tall, hands at the heart, full breath. Thank you for being here and sharing in this practice today. Hope you feel better. Namaste.